story related to
Related
difficult
by
thing related to it can be recognized from the story related to by James Bissell in the volume on American Commonwealth about the United States of America. The story
we'll stop here.
is
We'll stop at America. Okay.
okay.
So the next thing that he is going to talk about is fraternity. What is fraternity? Fraternity is this, bhaichara, what we call bhaichara in Hindi. So it's this sense of brotherhood, basically. You know how in our, when you say the Indian pledge, you say all Indians are my brothers and sisters. That line, it's the perfect, like that's our definition of fraternity. Okay. So we want to have in our constitution, wants us to have, we have decided as Indian citizens that we wish to have fraternity amongst each other, right? So he's going to talk about, in this example that is listed ahead, he's going to list an example of the USA. So, United States of America is not just called America as a country, America. It's called United States of America because they wanted to be called that way. They did not want all the states to become one nation and be called just America. They wanted to be called United States of America. The states still wanted to have their own, identities. They're United States. They're not one country, they're United States. Okay? So, and India is one country. So that means that we are more, we are together, like, let's say we have established our bond as states or as a country in a more deeper sense. Okay, so that is what he's going to talk about in this example. We're going to skip this example because, well, it's not quintessential. What does quintessential means? Of very, very high importance. Okay, it's not quintessential to us at this moment. Okay, this is what I was talking about. They preferred the expression the Indian nation. Indians did not want to be called the United States of India. No, we preferred the expression the Indian nation, right? Okay, now we're going to read from here. Okay, I remember the days. All right. Yes, Diksha, go ahead.
There was so little solidarity in the USA at the time when this incident occurred that the people of America did not think that they were a nation. If the people of the United States could not feel that they were a nation, how difficult it is for Indians to think that they are a nation. I remember the days when politically minded Indians resented the expression. The people of India, they prefer the expression the Indian nation. I am of opinion that in believing that we are a nation, we are cherishing a great delusion. How can people divided into several thousands of castes be a nation? The sooner we realize that we are not as yet a nation in the social and physiological sense of the word, the better for us, for then only we shall realize the necessity of becoming a nation and seriously think of ways and means of realizing the goal. The realization of this goal is going to be very difficult, far more difficult than it has been in the United States. The United States has no caste problem. In India, there are castes. The castes are anti-national in the first place because they bring about separation in social life. They are anti-national also because they generate jealousy and antipathy between cause.
Sorry, did I change the page?
But we must.
Yes, go ahead. Please go ahead. But we must.
But we must overcome all these difficulties if we wish to become a nation in reality. For fraternity can be a fact only when there is a nation. Without fraternity, equality, and liberty will be no deeper than codes of point.
Perfect. Well done. So now let's quickly understand what he's trying to say in this particular, section of the chapter, and then we'll be able to finish this. So what he's doing here is he's talking to us about fraternity. Yes, Neha, do you have a doubt?
Didi, I'm really very sorry. I just went for washroom and I fell down just because of I was having class, so that's why I have put off. I have turned off my camera.
No issues. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. So he's here talking about the fact that to be called a nation, you know how I talked to you about the example of United States. They don't want to be called a nation because they don't feel like they feel that they're not united enough. So if we're calling ourselves a nation, then that means that we need to be very close to each other. We need to have no discrimination, so we can call ourselves a nation, right? And he's saying that as of now, in the current states that we are in his opinion, back then, he felt that, we're cherishing a delusion. What is a delusion? In your book, it says it's a mistake, idea, or opinion. Delusion is basically, जैसे हम लोग
मैम दीदी गलती से बोल देना उसे ये सच है.
Yeah, but very close to the actual thing, Lakshmi. So basically, delusion में क्या होता है ना? If let's say, how you sometimes will be able to tell people, so are you delusional? What are you saying? That means to be delusional or to have a delusion is basically आप ऐसा मानना कि जो चीज सच है नहीं उसको मैं सच मान के चल रही हूँ, ऐसा मान के चल रही हूँ अपनी ओर से, ठीक है? ये it's very close to imagining something fake. Okay, let's get that. All right. So it's a mistake in the idea or opinion, but how so you are imagining something? मैंने अपनी ओर से मान लिया है कि मैं सबसे इंटेलिजेंट हूँ, so मुझे पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं. Okay, that's a delusion. That's me being delusional. Okay, I need to study. All of us need to study so that we can move forward or like grow as students, right? So he's saying that in his opinion, if we are not, working on issues such as caste problems, other things that are drawing us apart, then what will happen? Then we are basically being delusional. We need to work on these things. We can't just say, no, there's nothing, we are a nation. That's not working. Okay. So then he talks about the fact that he thinks that castes are anti-national. Anti, किसी भी चीज के आगे. So national एक word है, right? उसके आगे we have put something called a prefix. There are two things, guys. There's a prefix and there's a suffix. Okay? Prefix मतलब किसी word के आगे कुछ लगा दें, ठीक है? For example, anti-national, anti-social, non-transferable. Transferable क्या होता है? जिसको transfer करना. Non लगा दूंगी मतलब no. Okay? Vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Non is a prefix. Okay? So here he's saying anti is a prefix. Okay? Anti-national means कोई भी चीज जो हमारे देश के खिलाफ, हमारे देश के हित में नहीं, हमारे देश के, what is the opposite of hit? Yeah, sorry, Lakshmi, what did you say? I couldn't hear you.
I tried to say हित मतलब जो प्रिय, हित के बदले हम प्रिय लगाते हैं, अपोजिट. हित का मतलब जो हमारे लिए अच्छा है.
Yeah, I know. Hit means something that's good for us. I'm trying to think of an opposite for hit, but I can't count it. That's okay. So basically, हमारे देश के हित में नहीं है, right? So he's saying that for us to be called a nation in its true sense, we need to eliminate things like, we need to eliminate things like caste problems so that we can come closer as people. Okay, that is how he's concluding it. वो क्या बोल रहे हैं, जो भाईचारे के बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं, this fraternity that we are talking about, without equality, without liberty. Equality जो उन्होंने अभी voting, one vote, one person, one vote वाला जो पहले टॉपिक एक्सप्लेन किया था, वो और fraternity ये जो मिक्स करके है, अगर हम लोग उन सब पे वर्क नहीं कर रहे, कास्ट सिस्टम पे वर्क नहीं कर रहे, इकोनॉमी पे वर्क नहीं कर रहे, then all these promises that we are making with our constitution will be no deeper than coats of paint. No deeper than coats of paint. Like in that, this is a simile. Okay, this is a figure of speech. It's a simile. इनमें क्या बोल रहे हैं लोग ये यहाँ पे? Coats of paint मतलब देखा कैसे कभी कभी क्या होता है कि दीवार पे कुछ गंदा लग जाता है, दीवार पे सीलन आ जाती है. ओके, अगर आपकी दीवार पे सीलन आई है और आप उसको ठीक नहीं करो, जहां से जो पाइप से सीलन आ रही है आप उसको ठीक मत करो, बस उसके ऊपर एक और पेंट कर दो, तो थोड़ी दिन के लिए तो ठीक लगेगा, बट उसके बाद फिर से आ जाएगी ना सीलन. ये एग्जांपल समझ में आया सबको?
ये दीदी आप एकदम एडवर्टाइजमेंट के जैसा बोल.
Okay, thank you. But okay, now I really sound like that wall putty wala person. Okay, but so if you're not fixing the problem and if you keep making false promises, then you're just applying another coat of paint. So that is how he's used. No deeper than coats of paint. Just painting it uske upar se. Okay, so that is how he ends this chapter. All right. What I want you to do. I can't hear you. Yeah, I can hear you, but your voice is breaking slightly. There's wind, I think. आपके आसपास हवा चल रही है, उसका प्रॉब्लम है. बोलो.
दीदी सही में यूनाइटेड स्टेट अमेरिका में फेटर्निटी का उपयोग होता है, मतलब वहाँ सभी के पास भाईचारा है, कोई भी ऐसा नहीं सोचता दूसरे के बारे में.
अच्छा, मुझसे पूछ रहे हो कि मुझे बता रहे हो? मुझसे
आपको पूछ रही हूँ.
Okay, so see, I've never been to the USA, but from whatever I know about it, no country is perfect. Okay, so ऐसा लगता है यहाँ पे बैठ a lot of people, a lot of us who love BTS, like Korea is South Korea is the perfect country. I can see Muskan smiling. So but that no country is perfect. Every country has its problems. So USA की अपनी problems है. He was just giving the example. USA ने कुछ चीजें अच्छी से खास, हर country में कुछ चीज बहुत अच्छी भी होती है, पर है ना? It's just like people. Some people, not every person is perfect, of course, but some, every person has at least one very good quality that you can learn something from. It's very similar to what we did when we made our constitution. We took good things from the constitutions of all other countries, that, all the good things that they had in their constitutions, who already had constitutions. And that is how we made our constitution. That is why it's one of the most amazing constitutions in the world, right? So it's a very well written one, definitely very well researched also. That is what research is. आपको कॉलेज में बहुत रिसर्च करनी पड़ी. क्या करते हो आप रिसर्च में? आप देखते हो जो मैं पढ़ रही हूँ उसके बारे में और किसी ने पढ़ा है क्या? अगर उन्होंने पढ़ा है तो उन्होंने क्या समझा है उससे? उन्होंने जो समझा उस पर अगर उन्होंने कुछ लिखा है तो मैं उसको पढ़ती हूँ, उसको समझती हूँ, और या तो मैं उससे अग्री करती हूँ या डिसअग्री करती हूँ, दोनों ठीक है. ओके, दैट इज हाउ यू राइट अबाउट दीज थिंग्स. ओके, so that is what we had to do to finish the revision. Now today we're going to do something very exciting also. I mean, exciting for me because I love these things, but I think you guys will also like it a lot. Sorry, excuse me. So we're going to do a new poem today, guys. And so the thing is, we have not done a couple of poems, and in my head I thought we've done all the poems, but we're going to finish off some of these poems because I don't know which poems have your colleges chosen. Okay, but whatever poems they'll choose out of this syllabus only. So we're going to do all the poems in our syllabus, like just as we've done all the chapters. All right, this poem is actually about farming, and I happen to be the daughter of a farmer, so I know a lot about farms, and I live very close to farms, so I can relate a lot to this one. I hope you guys can too. So we'll quickly take a look at this poem. So the last time I did a poem, I did this small activity with you, where I told you to look at this poem like an unseen passage, right? You have poem ke unseen passages also in your syllabus, and we are going to use these poems to prepare for those, okay? Just as we did last time, we're going to do it right now also, okay? So first, let's quickly read the poem once, because when in an unseen passage, no, we don't have anything about the author. All we have is the exact poem. Okay, we're going to read this twice because the best thing about poetry, as I told you guys before, is because it's short, you can read it a lot of times. Okay, so let's read it once and then we will talk. If we understand something, then we'll talk about it. If we don't, then we'll read it again. Okay. All right, who wants to read first? All right, Disha, go ahead.
Sitting in porchway, cool sunlight, I say, dying fast, twilight hastens on to rule, working hers have well nigh past, shadows run across the lands, but a sower lingers still, old in rags, he Pehchaan stands, looking on, I feel a thrill, black and high, his silhouette dominates the furrow's depth. Now to sow the task is set. Soon shall come a time to reap. Marches he along the plain to and fro and scatters wide. From his hands the precious grain must muse I as I see him stride. Darkness deepens, fades the light. Now his gestures to mine eyes are august and strange. His height seems to touch the starry skies.
Perfect, very well read, Diksha. So, किसी को कुछ भी समझ में आया अभी दीक्षा ने जो पोएम पढ़ा? इससे आपको फर्स्ट टाइम आपने पोएम
Yes,
को
Didi.
समझा?
Little but.
Little? What did you understand, Lakshmi? Please tell us. शेयर करने का मन है, ऐसा कुछ समझा कि खुद के लिए समझा, ऐसा थोड़ा थोड़ा सा समझा?
Yes, Didi. थोड़ा थोड़ा share करने की लाइफ में.
Okay, I understand. That's all right. So I had given you a huge hint before we started, which was that this is about farming, right? So let's keep this in mind, that this person that's being talked about, maybe he's a farmer. The sower. Sow करने का मतलब पता है आपको? Sow?
कुछ बोना.
बोना.
Yes, perfect. We know what sowing means, right? So this person is a farmer. He's sowing something. All right. And the poem is about the sower. The poem is titled The Sower. So probably we're going to hear a lot more about the process of sowing or the person who's sowing these things. Okay. Now there is one person who is writing this poem, who is looking at and that's the other person who is the sower. Okay, this we'll understand when we read it once more. So I've given you a couple of things. Okay, there are two people. One person is sitting and looking, one person is doing something. Okay, and the second thing is this is all about farming and some person is sowing something. Okay, now let's read it once more. I want a couple of you to talk about the poem before I talk about the poem. Okay, because I always talk about these poems. Yes, Lakshmi.
Yes, Didi.
Who unmuted themselves? I couldn't hear you. Was it Lakshmi or was it someone else, please? Okay. All right. I won't be able to guess. So we're going to read this poem one more time. All right. And for most of you, guys who are here for this class right now, I know you want to work on your English. That's why you come to this class. So you want to score better or you want to understand your syllabus better, which is amazing. So we're going to push ourselves a little bit more harder to understand things. Okay. Because we are capable, trust me, I can promise it to you that you are capable of understanding this all on your own, the whole thing, not even a couple of lines. Okay. So let's read it one more time and try to focus on understanding something from it. Okay? Anything is good. All right. Okay. Who wants to read this time?
Can I, Didi?
Yes, go ahead, Lakshmi.
The sower, sitting in the Proxville cool sunlight, I see, drying fast, to light his strength on the rule, working hour have well nigh past. Shadow run across the land, but shower longer still. Old in the ring, patient stand, looking on. I feel trail. Back and high, hairs straight posted, dominate the furrowed dips. Now to show the task is set, soon shall come a time to rest. Marches he along the plain, to and fro the setter waits. From her hand, precious again, muse I has I seen the street. Darkness depends, fate the light. Now here's grand trace to mean the eyes. Are advent and strange, hers height seems to touch the straight six. Case.
Kites. Okay. Lakshmi, love, you read very well. But you do this thing, and I used to do it so often when I was a young kid. So when I watch you read, I feel like I'm watching myself read. When I used to read the first and the last letter of the word, and I used to just guess how it would sound, not even read all the letters in the word. Okay? So I want you to try doing this. Try reading slightly slower. You read with a good speed. But when you are at home practicing reading, try reading slower and try paying attention to every letter in that word. And then imagine what it would sound like. Okay? Right now, I'm reading the poem for all of you guys again before I start the discussion. And I'll explain you the meanings of a couple of difficult words. Just a couple. I'm not explaining the poem, but a couple of difficult words. And then we'll have a short discussion before I explain everything. Okay? So, the sower. Sitting, pay attention to my pronunciation, okay? I think Deeksha and Lakshmi have read already, but everyone else also. Pay attention to how I am saying these words, okay? Sitting in a porch way, okay? Porch क्या होता है? आपने देखा है घर के आंगन होता है?
खटिया.
No, that is a cot. That's a cot. Okay, खटिया cot होता है. But veranda, देखो, they're calling it a veranda. आपने देखा घर में आंगन जो होता है, थोड़ा सा घर से बाहर निकल के ऐसे आंगन सा नहीं होता?
क्या दीदी एग्जैक्ट मीनिंग मुझे पता है.
बताओ.
उसे ये कहते हैं दूरा in village.
Okay. I don't know what it means, but I hope your friends do know, so they can understand better from this. So porchway is basically क्या होता है, घर के आगे ना कुछ लोग थोड़ी सी जगह छोड़ देते हैं ऐसे ही बैठने के लिए, घर से बाहर निकल के. छोटा सा शेड टाइप का होता है, घर से बाहर निकल के आप थोड़ी देर चेयर वेयर लगा के बैठो, शाम की चाय पियो टाइप्स. Okay, that's a porch. A lot of people put a jhula also. They put a swing in their porch. Okay. So what is this person? Okay, I'm not going to teach you that. But that's the meaning of the word. Okay, porch. Sitting in a porchway cool, sunlight I see dying fast. Twilight hastens on to rule. Twilight means जब शाम हो रही होती है ना. हाँ, बोलो लक्ष्मी. हाँ लक्ष्मी बोलो.
No दीदी, by mistake.
No issues. So twilight is basically जब शाम हो रही होती है, जब सूरज ढल जाता है, तो पहली जो मतलब शाम का पहला टाइम जो होता है, एकदम शाम, जब सन की लास्ट रे खत्म हो रही होती है ना, जब सन डूब रहा होता है, उस टाइम को ट्वाइलाइट कहते हैं. ओके. ट्वाइलाइट हेस्टन्स ऑन टू रूल. हेस्टन्स मीन किसी को जल्दी जल्दी करना. ओके. मेक हेस्ट. इफ आई से मुस्कान मेक हेस्ट, वी आर गेटिंग लेट. मेक हेस्ट मीन्स जल्दी जल्दी करो, हमको कभी वी आर गेटिंग लेट, हमको लेट हो रहा है. ओके. So that is where hastens is coming from. किसी चीज को जल्दी जल्दी से करना. Okay. Working hours have well nigh passed. Okay. Well nigh passed मतलब होने ही वाला है, just होने वाला. Alright. Shadows run across the lands, but a sower lingers still. Sower तो मैंने आपको बता दिया, जो seeds को plant करते हैं. Linger means किसी चीज को थोड़ा सा रुक जाना. ठीक है, थोड़ी देर और रुकना. ठीक है, hanging around for a little bit longer. So let's say the party was over, but some of the old friends, they lingered around for longer. you know, they were lingering for longer. That means वो थोड़ी देर और रुक के गए. Okay, so that is lingers. Old in rags, he patient stands. ये patient वो बीमार वाला patient नहीं है.
वो शांति वाला, भरोसा रखने वाला.
Exactly. Looking on, I feel a thrill. Black and high, his silhouette. Silhouette क्या होता है? आपकी परछाई को कहते हैं आपकी silhouette. Okay? वो आपकी silhouette होती है. Okay? आपकी परछाई को आपकी silhouette कहते हैं. बहुत सुंदर सा वर्ड है silhouette. ऐसे प्रोनाउंस करते हैं. Silhouette dominates the furrows deep. फरो, ये जब हम खेती करते तो आपने देखा है ऐसे लाइन लाइन बना देते हैं हम लोग खेत में, देखा है आपने?
यस दीदी.
ताकि उसको पानी देने में, और बाकी हमको पता है कि बीज कहाँ पे, उस लाइन में जो से मिट्टी उठी होती है जहाँ पे, वहीं पे बीज होते हैं, राइट? दैट्स अ फरो. ओके, सो दैट इज सिलुएट. जो उनकी परछाई है वो इन फरोज पे पड़ रही है. डोमिनेट्स द फरोज. नाउ टू सो द टास्क इज सेट. Soon shall come a time to reap. Marches he along the plain, to and fro, and scatters wide from his hands the precious grain. Muse I, as I see him stride. Muse मतलब किसी चीज को बहुत देर तक देखते रहना. You know, muse mostly ऐसे आर्टिस्ट की भी म्यूज होती है. आर्टिस्ट की म्यूज मतलब जैसे मैंने मुस्कान के ऊपर या मैंने बुशरा के ऊपर एक पोएम लिखी, बहुत ही सुंदर सी. मेरे इतने अच्छे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, मैंने बहुत ही सुंदर सी पोएम लिखी. सो वो दोनों मेरे क्या हो जाएंगे? म्यूज हो जाएंगे. ओके, MUSE, म्यूज. मतलब किसी चीज के बारे में सोचना, उसके बारे में कुछ लिखना. हाँ लक्ष्मी बोलो.
जैसे दीदी हम कोई काम कर लेते फिर हम उसके बारे में सोचते हैं गहराई तक. इन्होंने प्लांट बोया तो उनके रिजल्ट के बारे में सोच रहे हैं कि वो कैसा होगा, राइट?
ट्रू, ये भी हो सकता है. ये भी हो सकता है कि जो दूसरे इंसान बोल रहे हैं वो इनको देख के सोच रहा है. कोई अपने पोर्च में बैठ के इनको देख रहा है ना, तो हो सकता है वो भी सोच रहा है. वो भी हो सकता है उसका. ओके, एज आई सी हिम स्ट्राइड. स्ट्राइड मतलब स्ट्राइड थोड़े से लंबे पर्पसफुल से स्टेप्स लेना. एक तो होता है ऐसे ढीले ढीले चलना है ना, छोटे छोटे कदम लेके. एक होता है स्ट्राइड्स, वॉकिंग इन स्ट्राइड्स, थोड़े से लंबे और थोड़े से स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टेप्स में. दैट्स अ स्ट्राइड. ओके. Darkness deepens, fades the light. Now his gestures to mine eyes are august. August ये अगस्त महीने वाला नहीं, ये अगस्त इज नोबल, डिग्निफाइड, इम्प्रेसिव. मतलब कितना महान काम, कितने अच्छे से काम कर रहे हैं, ऐसे इम्प्रेस हो रहे हैं. ओके. And strange, they are august and strange. His height seems to touch the starry skies. Okay, now we've read this poem for the third time. I've explained all the important words. अब क्या क्या समझ में आ रहा है और मेरे को सबसे बात करनी है, ठीक है, इसके बारे में. I'm gonna close the poem for a little while. I want, for those of you who can, I want you to turn your videos on, like Muskan has. Okay, and trust me, I don't judge you for turning your videos on. It just helps me understand whether you are understanding me better. Okay, so Sejal, Sanya, Pranali, Bushra, Karishma, Shweta, and Neelam, and Sneha. Sneha has her video on. Okay, Sneha is back from the toilet. Great. So,
Didi, you forgot my name.
yes, Lakshmi, I know you've been having some network issues, so I didn't take your name. But I do want you to turn your video on if you can. I saw Shweta for like 1 second. Shweta, can you show us your face again? Okay, I think. Hello, hi. Alright. So, हाँ, कुछ बोल रहे थे श्वेता? मुझे आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. आपने ईयर प्लग कनेक्ट किए हैं क्या? नहीं, अभी भी नहीं आ रहा है. ओके, नो इश्यूज. आप मेरे को मैसेज, लाइक मेरे को जूम चैट पे भेज, जो भी आपको बोलना है हमसे जूम चैट पे भेजो. अभी हम आपको सुन नहीं पा रहे हैं. नो लव, स्टिल कांट एबल टू हियर यू. ट्राई, आपने ईयर प्लग्स लगाए तो उसको निकाल के देखो.
जी
Yeah.
आपको बोलना है तो मैं अच्छा आपको हेलो बोलिए और कुछ नहीं।
Okay. Now I can hear you. Okay. Perfect. So, what I want to do is I want to talk about क्या समझ में आया आप लोगों को पोयम से. अभी हमने छोटी सी पोयम पढ़ी एक, है ना? एक खेती करने वाले
Yes.
किसान के बारे में, है ना? Okay. So I want you to raise your hands and tell me what did you understand. एक लाइन भी आप बोलोगे मेरे को तब भी ठीक है. Just tell me what you understood. I'm gonna come to you, Lakshmi, but because I know you know a lot of answers, I'm gonna have a lot of my other girls also talk first. Oh, strangely, all of us are girls, right now in this class. Interesting. Okay. So, who knows the answers? कुछ तो आता हो, कुछ तो समझ में आया होगा पोएम में. एक आध लाइन क्या समझे? गलत भी बोलोगे तो मुझे चलेगा.
मैम
हाँ.
वो उसमें बोले थे सिटिंग इन द आंगन, यानी जो
Yeah.
जगह रहता है बाहर घर के उधर
Mhm.
सिट बैठे वो लोग, कूल हवा आ रहा है
Very good.
और सनलाइट आई सी ड्राइंग फास्ट।
Perfect. So she's, and that she started at a very good place, Shweta. You started at the starting. That's a great thing. So क्या बोला श्वेता ने? सही बोला उन्होंने बिल्कुल. She's sitting in a swing. वो अपने आंगन में झूले पे बैठे हैं और ठंडी हवा आ रही है और सनलाइट इज डाइंग फास्ट. सनलाइट मर तो नहीं सकती ना, सन नहीं मर सकता, है ना? तो ये पर्सोनिफिकेशन है, राइट? वो एक इंसान की तरह सन का मर्डर कर रहे हैं, ऐसे मार रहे हैं उनको. पर असल में क्या हो रहा है? सूरज ढल रहा है, राइट? जब सूरज ढलता है तो सनलाइट क्या होती है? कम होती जाती है ना धीरे धीरे. आपने देखा है ऐसे रेड कलर का भी हो जाता है ना कितना सन, the sun becomes red, no? It's almost like it's dying, right? Because the red looks like blood, right? So it's a very good comparison. So the sunlight is dying. Okay? यहाँ तक हमको समझा. All right. Who wants to try next? Well done, Shweta.
May I?
Yes, Muskan, go ahead.
Yes, I understood little, but I explain it in English. I tried to explain, and maybe there one person sitting in their portrait, and they look. He look sunlight, sun, and he look sunlight slowly dying, and that time was twilight, and they one I maybe they maybe he saw a farmer who uh, working in their farm, and he explained their that time situation, how he farmer looks like, and the farmers sowing sow, and that time uh, sun's going on in sunset, that
Perfect. You understood very well and you explained it also very well in English, Muskan. Right? So the timing is twice. She brought a great fact to life. The timing he specified क्या समय हो रहा है. जब सूरज ढलता है वो समय हो रहा है. Okay? Mostly अगर अभी आप गूगल करो ना, when do we have sunset at your Mumbai or Colaba, wherever you guys are at, you'll be able to see exactly when it happens. That to the point. Because most people Google it so they can sit on Marine Drive and watch. It's a different story. It looks very pretty, by the way. But that exact time is twilight. So वो समय हो रहा है. He told us the exact time. थोड़ा सा passage of time भी describe करते. जब वो देख रहे थे तब सूरज ढलना शुरू हुआ था. जब तक वो खत्म करते हैं तो पूरा सूरज ढल जाता है और एंड में क्या है? स्टारी नाइट दिख रही है. तो थोड़ी रात और वो बढ़ चुकी है. Okay? So yes, he's explaining a lot of these things. Very well done. और क्या समझ में आया हमको? Yes, Lakshmi, go ahead. Now I want to hear your answer.
एक्चुअली दीदी वो जो कवि है वो कवि अपने मतलब आंगन के बाहर आके बैठे थे, उनके सामने ही मे बी खेत वगैरह हो गए, वो देख रहे थे कि एक फार्मर बीज बो रहे हैं और उनके मतलब वो जो कवि है उनको ठंडी ठंडी वो हवा महसूस कर रहे हैं और थोड़ा शाम हो रहा है, तो ऐसा उन्होंने टाइम डिस्क्राइब किया कि वो फार्मर अपना बीज बो रहा है बहुत ही मेहनत से. उनका बीज बोना खत्म तो हो गया, फिर भी वो सोच रहे हैं कि इसका परिणाम क्या होगा, क्योंकि एक किसान के लिए उसका परिणाम बहुत ही महत्व है, क्योंकि वो इतना और इतने मेहनत से वो बीज को पेरेंट अपने बेटे को कैसे पालते हैं और उनके रिजल्ट के बारे में सोचते कि ये बड़े होके क्या बनेंगे। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल हम ट्री बोते हैं तो क्योंकि हमें फल चाहिए, राइट। तो एक किसान के लिए उसका परिणाम बहुत ही महत्व है, क्योंकि उनकी पूरी फैमिली डिपेंडेंट ऑन फार्मिंग इन विलेज।
थोड़ा सा आपका वॉइस ब्रेक हो रहा है बच्चे। आपका जो हवा है ना आपके आसपास, आई थिंक आप फैन के आसपास शायद बैठे हो, तो उस हवा की वजह से हमको अच्छे से समझ में नहीं आ रहा, थोड़ा सा डिस्टर्बेंस है।
Yes, now my voice is clear.
Yes, now it's very clear. Go ahead.
Can I say?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, दीदी। फॉर एग्जाम्पल कैसे एक माँ अपने बेटे को देखती कि ये कैसा है, वैसे एक फार्मर अपने बीज को देखता है, उनके जो उनका पौधा निकलता है उसे उतनी गहराई से देखता है कि इसका कैसा रंग रूप, मतलब वो कैसा होगा। क्योंकि फॉर एग्जाम्पल कभी कभार इतनी बारिश हो जाती है कि पानी हो जाता है, कभी इतना धूप हो जाता है कि वो जल जाता है। तो उनका फार्मर एक एग्रीकल्चर टोटली डिपेंडेंट ऑफ रिस्क। जैसे बिजनेस में लॉट ऑफ रिस्क होता है, वैसे उससे भी ज्यादा में भी फार्मर में रिस्क होगा। तो एक किसान की लाइफ बहुत ही हार्ड है कंपैरिजन टू एवरी प्रोफेशनल लाइफ। और वो हमारे लिए बहुत ही अन्य देवता हम किसान को मानते हैं, तो हमारे लिए किसान बहुत ही महत्व है। तो वही वो बताना चाहते हैं कि किसान की लाइफ कितनी होती है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम तो काम कर लेते हैं तो हमें सैलरी तो मिल जाती है, पर किसान का वैसा नहीं है। वो काम कर भी ले फिर भी उनका सैलरी का डिपेंडेंट नहीं है।
Very well.
वैसा है।
Lakshmi, you made amazing points. Next time onwards, I want you to make these points in English. Okay? But
Yes, Didi, I try.
Good. But she has actually given a very good answer. This is exactly what the poet is talking about. The main crux of the poem hai na, the reason for him to write this poem is just this. You know how he's highlighting the hard work that a farmer is actually doing, all the hard work that he does. And towards the end, what is he saying? Now his actions are august to me. Like I'm feeling admiration for how hard he's working. He's been looking at him for around a couple of hours, right? The sunset just started, or maybe I don't know how long it takes to have the sunset, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. But he's been looking at him for a significant amount of time. And this man, working hours are about to finish, but he's still working very hard. He's planting, he's sowing his seeds, right? Nobody's going to check whether he did it that day or not. Right? Nobody is going to cut his salary if he doesn't finish this task today, but he has to do it today. Right? So that is what he's comparing it to. Okay? Now we're going to quickly take a look at the poem. We only have 5 minutes. Huh? I know you guys have 3 after this. So we're going to get done on time. I'm going to quickly explain the poem once more, one last time. And in the next class, we'll finish this poem and start the next one. Okay? So, sitting in the porchway cool, we've understood this porchway, क्योंकि वो अपने आंगन में बैठे, porch वहाँ पे छाया है, उस पे शेड लगा हुआ है, इसलिए वो cool word भी लिख रहे हैं। अगर वो अपने लिए cool लिख रहे हैं तो बाहर जहाँ पे धूप होगी वो जगह क्या होगी? गर्म, right? So ये understand करना है हमको। Sunlight I see dying fast. सूरज धीरे धीरे डूब रहा है। अभी है sunlight, right now there is sunlight, पर धीरे धीरे बहुत, और उनको लगता है कि उनकी ओर से काफी जल्दी sunlight अब क्या हो रही है? खत्म हो रही है। सो सूरज डूब रहा है। ट्वाइलाइट हेस्टन्स टू रूल। ट्वाइलाइट जो है वो जो टाइम है सनलाइट के जाने के जस्ट बाद का टाइम, वो जल्दी जल्दी आ रहा है रूल राज करने के लिए। ओके, बेसिकली सॉरी, ट्वाइलाइट शुरू होने वाली। वर्किंग आवर्स हैव वेल नाई पास्ट। मतलब जो वर्किंग आवर्स होते हैं, वर्किंग आवर्स क्या होता है? आपने सुना होगा 9 to 5 जॉब करते हैं,
काम करने का समय।
यस, राइट। सो वो आपके काम करने का समय, वो आपकी वर्किंग आवर्स है। वेल नाई पास मतलब ऐसा ऑलमोस्ट खत्म होने वाला। जैसे स्कूल में आपको पता है आपका जैसे 10 मिनट्स बचते तो आप कैसे बैक पैक करके नहीं बैठ जाते हो जैसे घंटी हो जाए को, that is well naigh. Okay, it's almost there. All right. Shadows run across the lands. I mean, when the sun is about to go down, the shadows of all the objects, they start coming, right? Because the angle of the sun is such, right? But a sower lingers still. So this person who's sowing the seeds, he stays, he lingers. वो थोड़ी देर और रुकते हैं. Old in rags. Rags is, rag उनके कपड़ों का description है. Rags means basically ऐसे बहुत ही फटे हाल से कपड़े. Okay? Not very good shiny clothes. Have you seen farmers? They mostly wear like in Indian farmers. What will they do? They'll wear a dhoti, or they wear mostly kurta, right? They don't wear really.
Ganji, dhoti.
Yes. So they wear a waist and then they might wear their dhoti. So they are very, very, so that for the description of his clothes, he's using the word old rags. Rags means जो थैली होते हैं ना, बोरी होती है, बोरी. वो होते हैं rags. उस मटेरियल के कपड़े जो होते हैं पुराने जमाने में लोग बहुत पहनते. Those were rags. Okay, so काफी thick material के rough and tough clothes को you can call them rags. Okay. He patient stands. वो बहुत ही पेशेंस के साथ वहां पे खड़े हैं. कौन खड़ा है? सोअर खड़ा है. हम देख रहे हैं सोअर खड़ा है. ओके. ब्लैक एंड हाई हिज सिलुएट. उनकी जो परछाई पड़ रही है वो बहुत ही लंबी और ब्लैक कलर की पड़ रही है. ओके. डोमिनेट्स द फरोज डीप्स. जो उनकी परछाई है वो उनके जो फरोज हैं, जो उनकी खेत की फरोज हैं उस पर पड़ रही है. उनकी फील्ड के फरोज पे इट्स फॉलिंग. It's long and deep, means it's going very much into the field. Okay. Now, to sow, the task is set. When you are about to sow, you prepare the land. अब ऐसे उसको कहते हैं, क्या कहते हैं?
Yes, Didi, can you repeat again?
Yeah, so basically आप उसकी खुदाई करते हो. The only word that's coming to me is खुदाई. I don't know if it's the right Hindi.
Yes, Didi, I know.
या आप उसको ऐसे खुरपी लेके आप मिट्टी को ऐसे ढीला करते हो ना, मिट्टी को ढीला करते हो बेसिकली, राइट. उसमें ऐसे छोटे छोटे बॉल्स में हो जाती है फिर मिट्टी उसके ऊपर स्कैटर होके, rather than being flat the soil. So that's what you do. You sort of, you prepare the soil for putting the seed inside. Okay, that is what he's doing. So the furrows and everything, they prepare those furrows so that they can properly set the seeds. Okay, so now the task is set. Soon shall come the time to reap. अभी वो बोल रहे हैं थोड़े दिन के बाद ही उनको क्या करना होगा, अपनी फसल काटने का टाइम आ जाएगा. Marches he along the plain. Marches means ये उनके फिर से चलने के स्टाइल को डिस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं, है ना. मार्च करना क्या होता है? ऐसे सीधे ऐसे ऊंचे ऊंचे पैर करके अच्छे से चलना. That's how he's walking. That's how he is describing his walk. Okay. Sorry. Marches he along the plain, जो flat surface है. Alright. To and fro. To and fro means आगे पीछे. Okay. So pendulum goes to and fro. Pendulum देखा आपने? ऐसे घड़ी का होता है pendulum. That's to and fro. Okay. Similarly, let's say मुस्कान और मैं बार बार बात करते रहते हैं, या स्नेहा और मैं best friend है. So we keep talking in the class. So we keep going to and fro. Okay. I'll say something to her, so you say something to her. To and fro. Okay. So he's going to and fro and scatters wide. Have you seen farmers how they plant the seeds? They take a fistful of seeds. Fistful means मुट्ठी भर के हम लोग बोलते हैं हिंदी में. Similarly, we say fistful. Okay. Let's say I have a fistful of pens in front of me right now. Okay. Fistful. So he's taking a fistful of seeds. He's scattering onto the ground. Okay. News I. Who's I here? I is the person sitting on the porch, not the sower. Okay, Lakshmi? ये थोड़ा सा confusion था आपको. That is the person sitting on the porch. He is watching at him. It's not the farmer looking at the field. It's that person in the cool area in his shed who is sitting in his shed watching this person. He's looking at him and he's thinking, he's just looking at him. He's been looking at him for a while. He's musing. As I see him stride, he's walking him fast. He's looking at him walk fast. All right. Darkness deepen, अंधेरा गहरा होता है. देखिए, when sunset happens, within 15 minutes from a little bit of light, everything becomes dark, right? That is what he's describing. Darkness deepens, fades the light. रोशनी है जो एकदम fade हो जाती है. The light fades. Now his gestures to mine eyes are august. Okay. Now all the hard work, because it's so late in the day, the working hours are over. Now everything he's doing, all of the actions, all the hard work he's doing has become more noble, more dignified for him. One is that let's say I am looking at Bushra, or I'm looking at, Shweta, or I'm looking at Sania Momin, and I'm saying, wow, Sania Momin, she works so hard. And one is I'm saying, oh my God, it's so late in the night. She's been working hard all day, but she's still studying, right? So I'll have more respect for the hard work that she does. So that is what he's talking about. Okay. And strange, ajeeb lag raha hai usko. Okay, itna hard work dekh. He's feeling strange. His height seems to touch the starry skies. He seems so great as a person. Do cheeze ho sakti hai. Either he seems so great as a person that his height seems to touch the starry skies, or maybe the light is so little that it looks like his height is touching the starry skies. Those are the two meanings for this thing here. Okay? Now we're done with this poem. Everybody understood it? Thoda sa ab samajh mein aaya jo maine samjhaya. I know you understood some parts of it before also, right? But now that I've explained it, did you understand different things that also are a part of this poem, right? You could understand a few more things, right? That were written there. Right? So we're going to work like this. Poetry is like this. You can understand it on a lot of levels. So we have a couple of more poems from your syllabus that are left. We're going to do a couple of poems back to back, okay? With poems, we're going to do poetic devices, which is something really, really cool. So we're going to do a little bit of those, and that'll help us with the poems as well. Okay, that's it. That's it for today's class. I will see you guys next week. I love you guys. Take care. Keep it.
Didi,
Yes, sir.
can I say something for farmer?
You want to say something for the farmer?
Yes, Didi.
Okay, go ahead.
दीदी फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे अभी बीच में गांव में बहुत ज्यादा बारिश हो रही थी तो पूरे खेत में पानी भर गया, पर धीरे धीरे अभी सूखा आ गया तो और फसल बहुत अच्छी हो गई. तो फार्मर की जो फेस पे खुशी थी वो एक देखने लायक थी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं भी विलेज में रहती थी, मैंने बीच तो देख रही थी बहुत पानी था. फिर मैंने कुछ ही टाइम पहले अपने ग्रैंडफादर से बात की तो उन्हें बोले कि पानी पूरा सूख चुका. तो उनके फेस पे जो खुशी थी रियली देखने के लायक थी. समझ सकते हैं कि फार्मिंग कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है, एग्रीकल्चर. यस
You know, and it is very important and it is very close to nature. So it's very unique that way. Very few jobs are that close to nature. Okay, we're going to discuss more about this poem. In the next session, we'll finish it, we'll revise it a little bit, talk about a couple of things, then we'll move to the next one. Okay? All right, guys, I will see you next week. Keep attending your create classes and all your college lectures. They will help you, always help you. Okay? All right. I love you guys. Take care. Okay? Bye-bye.
थैंक यू सो मच दीदी. बाय.
Bye, Didi. Thank you, Didi. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Didi. Thank you, Didi.
Most welcome. Bye-bye.